International Media TV. Television that listens to you.
Hi, I'm Johnnie Burrell. Welcome to the program.
The past tense of drum is dream. We dance through memories unseen.
Good evening, everyone. How are all you beautiful people feeling this evening? Great. My name is Alicia Pascal, and I'm one of the managers here this evening. And on behalf of Macy's and Union Square, I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight as we celebrate Black art and expression. Macy's has always recognized and valued the contributions of African Americans and is proud to support Black History Month. Tonight, we are thrilled to give you a glimpse into the lives of a diverse group of talented individuals. Before we bring out our panel guests at the stage, it is my honor to introduce this evening's host, Bay Area radio icon, Rennell Brooks Moon. Rennell has been the public address announcer for the San Francisco Giants for 16 years, is one of the Bay Area's most popular on-air radio personalities, presently with a show on KISQ. Not only is she the only Black female public announcer in Major League Baseball, Rennell was also recognized as the first female announcer of a championship game in any professional sport during the 2002 World Series. She has been a part of more than 3 World Series and has been awarded 3 World Series rings for her PA duties as part of the Giants dynasty. It's my pride and privilege to bring to you Rennell to the stage.
Thank you, Alicia. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good to see you all. How are we doing tonight? Well, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Macy's Black History Month Celebration 2017. And I just want to mention that, thank you, Alicia, for that lovely introduction. I just want to mention this will be our 18th season at AT&T Park. My 18th year, y'all. Thank y'all for your support all these years. And you can now hear me on 102.9 KBLX. Thank you, God! Soul School Sundays, every Sunday night, 5 to 10, and then I do a hit with your Morning Dream Team every morning at 8:20. It's so good to be on our heritage station at last. So thank you all so much. Thanks for listening and for your support of that station for so many years. Let's give it up for Saul Williams. I hope you enjoyed that video presentation. I want to thank Saul for doing that for us. And tonight we're going to begin with a conversation with actor Jay Ellis. Hold on, ladies. And R&B recording artist BJ the Chicago Kid. And then that is going to be followed by a performance by Bay Area artist Ryan Nicole is here tonight. Yes. So we are so glad you all are here tonight. Are you ready to get started? Yeah. Let us get on with the show. My pleasure to introduce our 2 very talented special guests. First up, he is an actor, philanthropist, and entrepreneur, best known to us for his role on BET's The Game, and more recently co-starring in the Issa Rae HBO comedy Insecure, which is fantastic. The brother's been working. You've also seen him on Masters of Sex, How I Met Your Mother, Grey's Anatomy, and NCIS, just to name a few. Please put your hands together for the very talented Jay Ellis. next, he is a singer, songwriter, and instrumentalist. His debut album, In My Mind, received 3 Grammy nominations. He is an artist who is so on fire right now, and you can hear him on 102.9 KBLX. What's that? What happened? What? Oh, is he doing stuff? Oh my God.
That's a better idea.
Anyway, our next artist, I'm so on blast right now, I don't like that. He's currently promoting his recently released mixtape, The Lost Files Cuffing Season, representing the Windy City. Give it up for BJ the Chicago Kid. Ladies, just take it all in for a minute. Take it all in. Yes. Well, welcome to the Bay Area again to you both. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
So I've been often asked this question. I've been doing this event for a few years now, and I've often been asked this question, which I'm going to pose to you. And I was actually asked it in a pre-interview earlier tonight. Why is Black History Month necessary? I kind of feel like it's been a little bit under attack in recent years. There's a certain contributor to Fox News who's no longer on the network and shall remain nameless, who said, a couple years ago that we didn't need it. We have someone in the White House who doesn't know who Frederick Douglass is, or what the Congressional Black Caucus is.
I think he also thinks it's African American Month. Is that what he called it?
I believe he did, yeah. Yeah, he's confused about many things, but we'd like to hear from the both of you what your feelings are about Black History Month and why it is so very necessary. BJ?
Me personally, I'm not too fond of the last term month on it. I just believe history is history, meaning it's timeless. When it's attached to our lives, it's here forever. It's here for your children's children and your children's children. So understanding that, I think that just totally erases the month factor in it. I believe anything that we add to our lives as a people, it's never a time to it. So I think Black history is always necessary. I think we make Black history every day.
Right.
But it's definitely beyond a month.
Jay?
Yeah, it's hard to follow BJ because he's so eloquent. He's a songwriter. It's not fair. But, I will say, for many of us in this room, maybe not, for myself, the way I grew up and bouncing around, I didn't really get a chance. Let me take that back. In the summers, my mom used to make me do book reports. She used to make me write book reports on someone of color, whether it be Malcolm X, George Washington Carver, Harriet Tubman. We had all these little books. And so I remember that was my summer. I would read the 100-page book or whatever, and then I'd have to write like a 8-page story or whatever. But I remember going to school and not learning about anybody who looked like me, not even during Black History Month. It wasn't taught in school. And so the reason I got it is because corporations or networks or my own family or whatever it was took that time out during that month to say, yo, you need to learn about the people who were before you, who got you to where you are today, who allow you to go to this school and drive this car and live in this side of town or whatever it is. So Black History Month to me is this thing that's so important because it was the time where I really got to learn about my heritage. It was the one time where I got to learn about what people who looked like me did before I got there. As a kid, you always think you're the first.
Right.
you know what I mean? And so it was just this amazing moment to really celebrate and realize that we have contributed to this country and to this world in absolutely amazing ways, and we need to pat ourselves on the back and make other people aware of it at the same time.
Absolutely. So your mom started out as like your Black History Month tutor, kind of.
Paula was a Black History Month tutor. The pay wasn't that great, but she did it.
Miss Paula handled hers. BJ and Jay, could you talk about the impact of Black culture and Black history, not just here in America, but around the world?
I think our culture has always been rich. I think you can feel it when you go to certain cities. You know, you can feel it when you get there. You can tell from how they speak to you, from how they greet you. It's just something in the air. I think it's amazing when our culture is felt from our people. It's an encouragement in that. It's a lot of faith in that. It's a reminder of what we can be in that. And I think if we continuously to understand and keep our minds open, I think it will continuously kind of take us further into the mode besides a reminder. Reminders are cool, but reminders the first step before the action should begin. And when we understand that, we can actually, you know, get a little bit further with it.
Yeah. The world has always watched what we do. Yeah, so what do you think, Jay?
I was telling my man from the SF Weekly this earlier when we were upstairs. Do y'all know Hidden Figures is the #1 movie in Australia right now?
In Australia?
Insane. I didn't know that.
Yo, I've been to Australia before. Let me tell you something. I was the only one. The only one. I just think it's amazing that, like, you know, for so long we've been told that our movies don't travel, our music doesn't travel, that, you know, it's only for us, and that's all, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's just amazing because you realize that, like, people around the world, they want to see what we do. They are inspired by what we do. They love our music. They love our movies. They love our culture, whether it goes back to Egypt, whether it goes back to the Messiah, no matter where it is, it's this amazing thing that we culturally do create these pieces of art across all mediums. Obviously, we create these pieces of art that touch people somewhere.
Yeah.
They reach down inside of people and they make emotions come out of them. They inspire them in some way, regardless of whatever their race is. And so to me, our culture and our music and our art and our relationships and friendships, our athleticism, whatever it is, like, that shit, excuse my language, travels around the world.
It does.
It really, really does. And it hits people every single day. And no matter how much someone tries to stop it from happening, it's going to continue to happen. And it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie Hidden Figures has just been embraced, and it just, you know, just goes to show you if the content is there and if it's well done, and everybody's story is embraced. And I mentioned it to Joe from SF Weekly. Shout out to Joe, by the way, too, who's here.
Joe just getting shout outs today.
Joe's the man.
When he asked me why is Black History Month necessary, I of course mentioned the president, but also Hidden Figures is a perfect example. And a lot of us are irritated that we didn't grow up knowing that story, right? And how many more stories are there? Which brings me to you, young man, actor, entrepreneur, producer, I think a little bit. Because until we have that kind of power to green light these stories, we're still going to struggle to get them told. So I know you're interested in doing some more producing, right, Jay? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, I think you hit it right on you hit the nail on the head. The more we put ourselves in a position to make decisions, to write checks, to green light, the more we open up avenues of distribution for ourselves. We create lanes for other people to tell their stories. I use the example of my boss, who is the amazingly, ridiculously talented and beautiful Issa Rae. Yeah. You know, what Issa's been able to do with her digital platform has opened a lot of doors for other people. And now it's not only digital, but now she's selling TV shows as well. She's now gone and employed a ridiculous amount of people, in a good way, of color on her show. Mm-hmm. And now she's opening opportunities to do that for other people and selling other shows and doing movies now. So, you know, the more that we put ourselves in those positions, the more we'll be out there, and the more we'll be entertained, and we'll see somebody who looks like us,
right,
and be happy to watch it.
And our stories will be told. Yeah. Well, y'all know that BJ actually was a part of Black History when he performed the national anthem at President Obama's farewell address. We got to hear about that, BJ. Tell us about what a huge honor that was and what that experience was like.
It was very unreal. It just dawned on me kind of last week what happened.
I bet.
I'm just a young boy from the south side of Chicago. I just wanted to sing. I thank God for the music business, but the core of why I wanted to do what I do is so pure. It's strictly for my people. And whoever else decides to eat the flavors, I'm happy, you know? But somebody had kind of made a book of the pictures of that day, and they showed me last week, and I actually began to cry watching it because I said, that's not me. I was looking at myself for the first time, and I began to see pictures of actually that day, and that's when it really hit me. Life in itself can go by so fast that you don't get a chance to digest some of the things that we go through, some of the things we experience, some of our most champion moments. And when I saw myself in that book, I began to cry. My body didn't get to shaking, but I was in the middle of an interview, and I had to keep talking. I felt like it was just only right that the tears flow, but I continue to speak. It's a very proud moment.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Not just to honor him and his exit, but just really understanding where I come from, y'all. It's not easy. It's not easy for the next person. My neighborhood isn't structured for me to even be here talking to you guys in Macy's, you know. So I just realized the layers of blessings that it takes to even try to get there, let alone get a call from them where it humbles you. You know, they told us, they say, you know we don't want you to tell nobody. So that was the biggest secret I had to keep ever. But I'm honored to understand Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder. I just love to break this down really quick. I know I'm taking a long time answering this.
Do it.
Okay, so they were here before we knew of a man named Dr. Martin Luther King, right? They were called by Dr. Martin Luther King to help with the movement. Even in his passing, they were called. They were also called when we didn't know if we would ever have a black president. Aretha was one of the ones that were called to help sing them in. I think in these two, we have to really understand what we still have left and how much they have helped carry us. Musically, music has always been a part of our movement, whether you humming by yourself or you singing with 50,000. It told me I was one of them. It furthered what's been prophesied to me as a child. It's furthered what I dreamed as a child. It furthered my faith. It furthered what I believe. And it just made a real problem. I was happy to help my mom and my dad smile as well.
Oh, yeah. They must have been so proud. I love this kid. Jay, you have an Obama connection, too. Didn't you serve as a spokesperson for the National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day?
How it started is...
Okay. What had happened was...
Let me go back. What had happened was... So... There's this young lady who was in the White House named Michelle Obama.
Seem to recall her.
Mish gives me a call.
Oh.
And she says, hey, we're on our way out, and we need someone to come in and sing the national anthem. And I'm like, well, that's not really what I do, but if you want me to do it, I got you. Does Barack know? Does the president know about this? And she was like, I got him, don't worry. And I was like, okay, cool. And so she said, there's this young kid named BJ. He's from Chicago. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Never been there. It's a really cold city. And she said, we were going to have him do it, but we thought you would crush it. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to stand in this young man's way. This is his blessing. I don't want to take his blessing from him. You know what I'm saying? So I had to cancel.
That was very honorable of Jay to do that.
So honorable.
Yes.
So instead, I had to go, no. VJ know I love him, man. He on my playlist all the time. Just a good friend and a good dude. But no, I got the opportunity to go to the White House to speak at the last My Brother's Keeper Summit in December. And it was an absolutely amazing honor. I literally got the call on Wednesday at 10 a.m. to speak at the White House on Thursday at 9 a.m. And they were like, you want to do it? And I was like, yeah. Let me move my entire life around to be there, for sure. And that's what we did. And it was an absolutely amazing experience, to get up there and to meet the president for a brief second, but to meet so many cabinet members, to meet so many of the young men who have been a part of the My Brother's Keeper program, to meet some of the young men who have interned in the White House through this program. Was absolutely amazing. And then I think the thing that you were referring to, I worked with the CDC as a national AIDS and HIV spokesman. I actually had an uncle who lived here. He lived in Hayward. He lived across the bay and passed from AIDS in 91. So it's something that's always just kind of been on my heart, and we're the highest risk, community in this country and in this world, actually.
That's right.
If you look at Africa, so it's always something that's been on my heart and been something that's been really, really important to me.
I really appreciate that both of you seem to really respect the platform that you have, that your voices can be used for good. You seem to really appreciate that in the work that you do. So can you tell us what it means to you to be an African-American artist in the 21st century? Because this world is changing and moving so quickly every day. What's your role in it?
I think my role grows more and more. But I know my role is definitely to be bold for my people. To, like, my name is kind of, it makes people sometimes, they be like, yo, are you really from Chicago? Sometimes I want to be like, are you really crazy? You can't lie and say you from the jungle when lions eat you and your type. Like that, It takes boldness to put positivity in front of all this negativity consistently coming from our city. So that's another reason why I stood firm and remain and will forever remain BJ the Chicago Kid, because seeing me is the positive side. Seeing me is the part that can flip and turn into something even better. Seeing me is the lighter that ignites the other candles, and the other candles light the other candles. So just even that name, I feel like it's just so important for people to understand what they're saying when they say my name. You're not just saying a name, you're saying the opposite of what you're hearing every day. And that's one of the most important parts about my name. Some people think it's a rapper, they'll buy, whatever. Come and get to know me, And I think you get to know my city. And getting to know my city, you understand my purpose. My purpose is for you to understand what actually comes from that place. Before the recent news, before the craziness, before tomorrow. Today you see me, you hear me, you touch me, you understand me. That's what I stand for, man. I think that's what my music stands for. It's something about me just being a fan of like Marvin Gaye and people like James Brown and Macy documentaries of them singing in all type of places, overseas, near, far, and you see so many different color faces. I think that's so potent. That's so potent. And to understand these shows happened long before my birth. So these are instructional pamphlets for me to understand how to continue to express and how to further this thing. A lot of people that don't like rap music, they sons, nieces, and nephews love it. They dress like it, they breathe it, they inhale it. What we do, y'all, we can't control how they receive it, but we know what we put it out and is meant to be. And I think me being conscious of that, I think that would always allow me to be a help to my people.
He's carrying the torch for R&B artists. Jay, 21st century as an artist.
It's changed, from when I started to what it is now. I used to say, man, I just want a job. I just want to act. I just punch a clock and go on about my business. And then what I started to realize, the more and more I got into it, and the fewer and fewer faces like mine that I saw, and the roles that I was often asked to read, what I started to realize was that I was here, or what I wanted to do, let me rephrase that, and it probably is what I was put here to do in some ways, was to change the narrative around young black men in this country. And to me, that's why I act. That's why I tell stories. That is why I do events like this. It's why I travel nonstop to speak to people who look like me and who don't look like me, because I think the biggest thing that I can do with what I've been given is to help the next person, to help the next young man from the south side of Chicago or from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I'm from, where I think it's something like 68% of the black population lives below the poverty line. So for me, it's just about trying to find a way to help people look at them and humanize them and tell their stories and make them feel represented.
Yeah. So how do you both feel about artists? You kind of answered this question, having a responsibility to be the voice of the community. We have a legacy of artists and entertainers who have done that for generations. How important is that to you both?
Go ahead.
To me, it's very important.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's, I find myself, for every actor I love, every artist that I love, the ones I find myself most drawn to are the ones who have done something outside of their art to make our community better, to make our community visible, to make our stories heard, to make us relatable and human to people who don't understand us. And that has always been the thing that those people have always been the ones, who I've been most drawn to.
Right. Inspiring. How about for you, BJ?
He kind of like said it. I feel like I would just really be dragging it on, but it's, how could I say this? It's something about seeing somebody in their light, or say for instance, both of us sit down. We both know we play basketball, but he actually gets in the game. You think I'm gonna enjoy watching him, or I have more fun getting in the game with him? Of course, his action is going to encourage my action, and I think it's so important to have that boldness about yourself and whatever you believe in, to ignite the fire in somebody else. Sometimes you getting up is them getting up, and them getting up is their sister getting up, and their sister getting up is their cousin getting up, and his mom getting up. It becomes a domino effect with that connection. And I think us naturally being who we are, I think the connection is there. Just need more of that.
Yeah.
That little domino effect is pretty awesome to me.
BJ, I mentioned that you're carrying the torch for R&B music, and I read that you don't like the term neo soul, and I don't really like that one either. But he has an old soul, and he has such a reverence and appreciation for, and you can hear how he's influenced by that music. And talk about Black history. You are signed to the Motown label. How significant is that for you?
It's an honor. Thank you. It's an honor to be a part of Motown. Oh man. Sometimes I don't think about it. Sometimes it's best not to think about it. It's better for you to you can put better action than thinking about what's above your head and what jersey you got on. You just know you play and just play. Sometimes you look down to tie your shoes and you remember what jersey you got on. I think sometimes it's best, What Motown, Berry Gordy, and anybody else that have helped build that fortress of a business, I think it's insane. Not just musically, but I actually took the time to go to the Motown Museum in Detroit. I really wanted to I felt like I was going to the hospital where I was born, in a sense.
Wow.
When I went there, y'all, I laid on the floor. I wanted it in my clothes. Everything was so authentic. I mean, from the smell of the place was still there.
Oh my God.
The rips in the board was still there. The imperfections is what I loved most about that place. It just reminds me of what we come from. I laid on the floor, y'all. It did just let you know how how serious it was for me. As a young man, I don't think a lot of people like doing that kind of homework, but it was a joy for me. Yeah. It was a joy for me to walk through the house. It was a joy for me to understand that they started with one house and ended up with 7 houses on the block, each house being a different department of Motown. So it really became like a real estate agency, if you ask me. You know? But I think it was just so genius for them to build that before my birth and believe in me to continue carrying on the torch. I think that it's mind-blowing.
So powerful for you. That's amazing. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we kind of know who some of your inspirations are. What actors or entertainers inspired you, Jay?
Oh man, this is always like, I think it's such an unfair list, but Harry Belafonte.
Oh yes.
Sidney Poitier.
Pioneers.
Pioneers, yeah.
Yes.
Flip Wilson, Red Fox.
Oh yes.
There's a name I won't mention, but he was a pioneer for his time.
Okay.
Both in stand-up and in television. Y'all, we love him. We love him. We love him. Bill Cosby, absolutely. We love him. I mean, no matter what has been said or has happened in recent, his work is his work. Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely, and it made America look at us in a different way.
That's true.
And opened a lot of doors for us. But then there's also, I was telling somebody this earlier. For me, Viola Davis is somebody who I look up to. Denzel, obviously. Will Packer, who is one of the biggest producers in town right now, is somebody that I look up to. And then I look to my left and my right, and my contemporaries, the people who I'm honored to share a stage with or get to do an interview with, whether it be somebody like a BJ who isn't directly in what I do, but at the same time, BJ, we did this block party in New York when we launched Insecure, and BJ was like, Issa was like, we gotta have BJ. If it ain't BJ, we ain't doing it. And it was BJ, you know what I'm saying? And then one of his singles made the show, a pivotal moment in the show.
See how the world works? Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. But then that's dudes, listen, I am fans and I'm inspired by guys like Kofi on Queen Sugar, who's a beast. That man is doing, the young man is doing absolutely amazing work. There's the extra on Atlanta, it don't even matter. The extras, the interns, everybody on Atlanta is so good. Is inspiring. I think it's that thing that he said is like, I want to get in the game with Donald. I want to get in the game with Lakeith. I want to get in the game with those guys because it makes it more fun, and they are inspiring.
Right.
They're very inspiring to me.
Speaking of inspiring, how do you want your work to inspire others?
I think that's uncontrollable. I think that's beyond our control. I think that's the beautiful part about it. You can simply create something with the best of your ability, the best of your knowledge, the best of your God-given talent, release it, and watch it work. Mm-hmm. And some of the stories I get back from my music is insane. I was overseas. This is a very true story, y'all. I was overseas, and there was this guy standing up the whole show. We couldn't figure out why he was standing up. Even when I'm talking, he's standing up. I thought the guy was crazy. He was crazy about the right things. I come to find out that the guy was deaf, and he knew my music because of vibrations.
Oh, man.
You never know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the magic about it. That's the blessing in it. You never know. And because if we could control it, we probably would damage it. And I'm honored to get out of the way of that. I think it's beautiful that you can have your own interpretation of a song. I love that you can make your own remix when you don't know the lyrics. So if you ever hear my song, you don't know the lyrics, and you say what you want to say, imagine me, I'm telling you now, sing it, baby. Sing it. But I love it, and I think it's so amazing to see how your work inspires people. I think the shock factor of your music coming back to you is a beautiful sign of it working at its best.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Well, I read that you actually were inspired to pursue your music career after you saw Miss Janet Jackson in concert. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, what's crazy is those words kind of got a little twisted a little bit, but I would love to explain it.
Okay.
My dad, he was a bouncer, you know, a security guy. He did security for everybody from Robin Harris to Eddie Murphy and Oprah Winfrey and Michael Jordan and all these crazy people. So I got a chance to see a little bit of what we do before I got a chance to, you know, do it. And that was the first big production I ever saw. So I'm seeing this beautiful woman on stage with Black Panthers and cages and dancers, and I'm like, what in the world is going on?
How old were you at the time?
I don't remember.
Just a child?
I just remember that was the first concert that I ever saw. There was like such a mass production that it really did change my life. It's other things that totally let me know that this is what I would be doing, but that was my first big production experience, if I could say.
Jay, what inspired you to pursue music? Because you were an athlete, weren't you, in school and stuff?
Yeah, I always wanted to act, but I was a bit of a coward. I won't lie. You know, because growing up as an athlete, nobody, to say you're going to go take an acting class, like, your teammates look at you like you're crazy. You're like, nah, I'm doing this theater production. It's Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. I will be playing the Dreamcoat. You know what I mean? Like, my teammates would be like, bro, if you don't get out of here. So I was jealous of, like, the theater kids. I was jealous of the kids who got to do it. And then as I got a little bit older in college, what I would do is I would take my electives, and I got the opportunity. I had this crazy experience where my senior year in high school, I had an amazing tournament. I dunked on a kid who was 6'10". I scored like 20-some points. It is probably 18 more points than I ever scored in any other game. But it just happened to be some scouts there, and somebody came down to talk to me, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I got the chance to go play college basketball. And so while I was there, what I did is I took my electives and I would use them for theater classes. So I would use them for voice classes. I would use them for body movement. I would use them for sense memory. I couldn't, because of my basketball schedule, I couldn't commit to a production. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have, because my teammates would have literally laughed me out the gym.
It'd have been all over
me. But it was my, you know, that was the closest I can get to it. So I always wanted to act. But the moment that still sticks in my head to this day is Denzel Washington in Malcolm X, and he puts his fist up and in this standoff with the police chief, and the police chief is like, if you don't get out of here, it's gonna be riots. And there's all these men standing behind Denzel, calmly, silently, with so much power. This dude puts up a fist and slowly turns his hand, and hundreds of men just turn and start marching. And there was no way that anyone could ever tell me that that wasn't Malcolm X. Right. I thought Denzel was Malcolm in that moment.
Right. He was.
There was nothing else. Like, someone channeled, gave him spirit, all of it. It was just right there. And that moment, I knew I wanted to be an actor. I ain't got an X put in the back of my head. So then everybody was like, X marks the spot. And I was like, yo, y'all gonna keep messing with me, and y'all gonna see by any means necessary. You better watch out, all right? I'm hyped right now, but that was my moment. That Denzel is truly like my inspiration. Like, he is the moment that made me go like, I want to do what he just did.
Yeah. God, I hope he wins on Sunday. Oh, we know Viola's got it. We not say we thought we knew a few years ago for doubt, but let's see. I want to go back to Issa Rae before we wrap here, Jay, and tell us about that sister who's doing amazing things and, like you said, creating opportunities. Tell us how you got the role on the show, and tell us about working with her.
Yeah, so I got the opportunity to meet Issa maybe 5-6 years ago at an LA Urban League event. We were both given this award for community service. And I had recently just heard of her and An Awkward Black Girl.
Right.
And watched a few episodes, and I was like, oh, this is dope. I see it. It's not for me. It's for the women.
You can still appreciate it.
But I appreciated her voice, the uniqueness of her voice, the authenticity of her voice. She wasn't trying to be nothing she wasn't. She knew exactly who she was speaking to. She knew exactly what she was giving of herself. Mm-hmm. And as an artist, as an actor, like, that is, you know, that's what is the most, amazing thing to me about actors and about performing. So anyway, fast forward, the game ends, and a buddy of mine who works for Will Smith's production company calls me, and he's like, yo, have you read Insecure? And I'm like, no, what is it? And he's like, it's Issa Rae's new pilot at HBO. And I'm like, oh yeah, dope, send it over. So I read it that night. The next morning, I call. They make you have like 22 million people that you got to pay that you don't even really need to pay. I'm just going to tell y'all this right now. So if your kids want to become actors, and any of y'all want to become actors, just know it's going to be people in their pockets all the time. But the next day, I called my agent, my managers, my attorney. And I was like, who knows Issa? How do we get me in this project? So they're like, all right, we'll look into it. And it kind of went quiet. And this was literally right when HBO bought it. So 4 or 5 months go by, and I went through pilot season, reading all these pilots. It was just passing on stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not going in for that. That's not a real black person. I'm just not going to do it. I'm tired of being given. I've now spent the last 6 years reading roles of like someone who doesn't have a love interest, or someone who doesn't have family, or someone who can't go to church on Sunday. And I'm like, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm tired of doing it. So if it means that I got to sit out, then cool. I'll just sit out and not get a job. And God was like, hey, I got you, son. Bow. And my agent calls me and is like, yo, so the audition for Insecure came through. And I'm like, all right, cool. Who's it with? And it was everybody at that time. It's Melina, who's our director producer, who's an absolute talent and genius, and is going to get an amazing day in the sun at some point. She's directed videos for Beyonce. She's won awards for her commercials. Like, she's absolutely amazing. Princess was in the room, who's our showrunner, who for a black writer in Los Angeles has probably the best pedigree you could possibly have with the shows that he's worked on and he's even created. Issa was in the room. Larry Wilmore, who is at the time, was probably one of the only black approved comedy showrunners in town, was Larry Wilmore. Absolute genius, who then leaves and goes and does the nightly show. And so I go in, I do the audition, they call me when I leave, and they say, hey, we're going to, and I'll speed it up from here, sorry guys, but we're gonna test you in a few weeks, and test means a couple of us are gonna audition against each other, and one person is gonna get the job. So you have this awkward experience where it's like 3 people sitting in a waiting room, y'all all know each other, you kind of look alike. Is his arms bigger than mine? Will you stop running your lines? You're getting in my head. So it was one of those moments. So you walk into a theater, and it's literally like a small, probably let's say 100-person theater, 150-person theater, something like that. And you audition in front of the executives of the show and the executives of the network. And they do it. It's real creepy how they do it, because they all sit all the way in the back, so you can't see their faces. You just see dark shadows. And then I did the scene. But Issa came down and we did the scene. And then by the time I left the HBO offices, and 13 minutes later, they called me and told me I got the job.
Nice.
And it has been the most amazing experience I ever had. Issa is everything. She is gracious. She is kind. She's loved. She's goofy. She really do be walking around singing songs, humming all the time. She's an amazing leader. She has no ego. She's like, yo, whatever is the best thing is what we're going to do. At the end of the day, I want to tell an authentic story about black people, about Inglewood, about South LA. We're not going north of the 10. We're going to create a new light for this city and show people what this city really is. Yeah. And, it's been an absolute joy. It's been one of the most amazing things I could ever be a part of. And I hope it never ends.
It's wonderful. Season 2?
Season 2, yeah.
Yes! This is Issa's time. I'm so happy for her. This is her time to shine, and yours as well. Okay, so BJ, we're going to wrap things up here, but I can't not let the evening go without asking you about new music. Particularly, do you have any plans to make new music in response to the America we're living in, the Donald Trump America we're living in right now?
Absolutely. I have some songs that are kind of into the realms of, it's a lot of different conversations in that whole world.
Yeah.
And I definitely have a few songs that's tapping into it. I think it's especially different in my state, coming from Chicago and having our own in-house problems.
Right.
Looking out the window and seeing the world's problems. So I wanted to take my time with my particular stand with it, but you definitely going to hear some, even more. I have a song, I started it with a song called Chicago. It was originally called Chicago, but we call it Home. It's on the In My Mind album. It just simply breaks down like the toughest times taught you how to get through the toughest times. The toughness of Chicago is what taught me how to move to LA and be able to just understand the crazy things that life throw at you in this industry and outside of it. Honestly, without the lessons of Chicago, I probably would not be able to withhold and withstand and just, have my feet planted in ground. Chicago has taught me how to be a warrior in the jungle.
Yes.
It has taught me how to come out with chinchillas and snakeskin shoes and all that stuff. When you come out it has taught me that.
Yes.
And honestly, that's another reason why I wear the name so proud, because of the lessons of that place. Is another reason why I exist, why I'm here.
You wear the name very well, young brother.
Thank you.
Proud of you. So the mixtape is out.
Yep.
Any touring this year for you?
Absolutely. I definitely plan on touring. I'm excited to be back in the studio as well. We just wrapped up a world tour off my first album that came out at a time when nobody could even put out albums, y'all. So it's just a blessing to even put it out, let alone be nominated for 3 Grammys and everything else that God is doing. I'm totally excited, but thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm here to tell you this, but I'm just sure the blessings that God is sending our way, I'm sure it ain't the last that's in the bag. I'm just telling y'all, man, believe and move. Don't just believe, move in it. Walk in it. Put action to it. I guarantee you will see something that'll blow your mind just as we have ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a living witness. I'm done.
Yeah. Thank you. We're going to wrap up in just a minute and take a few questions from the audience. But just in closing, you guys, what is the most important thing that you think the world should know about, not even Black History Month, but Black history in general? What do you say, Jay?
We have been put to the test quite a bit throughout history. And there is a resilience, there is an ingenuity, there's a creativity, there is a authenticity, there's a love that comes with every single thing we've been able to create out of it. Whether it's from the internet, whether it's I can't think of Taraji's character's name in Hidden Figures, but Catherine, there we go. Whether it's Catherine, whether it's BJ and his music, whether it's Issa and the shows that she's creating, we will continue. We're not done. We won't be quieted. We won't be muffled. The megaphone will continue to grow. The work will continue to grow. The trueness of the stories will be there, and we're gonna have fun doing it.
Right on. BJ, you get the last word, young brother.
I just think we're amazing at taking nothing and making it into mind-blowing situations. So I think the tools are naturally in us. I just think we got to use them and continue to use them. Inspire each other to use them. Because you go to any soul food restaurant in the world, I guarantee you see more than black faces. So understanding that means the world understand, taking nothing and making it into something. It's an attraction to us. And I think it's something so valuable in that. I think because we come from that, I think holding on to that root and remembering that, because we always want more. BJ, you want to shoot a video? Yeah, I want 50 cars, I want it. No. What do you have and what could you make with what you have? And if you smash with that, you ready. You can continue to go. And I think that's what we specialize in. So I say people just keep on going. My people press on. That's it.
That's what we do. We keep on going. This has been fantastic. You both have been delightful and inspiring, and we're so proud and happy for both of you. Continued success to you both. Continue to shine. Big round of applause, please. BJ the Chicago Kid and Jay Ellis. To close out our Macy's Black History Month celebration, I want to now bring out a talented Bay Area artist. In her own words, she is a quadruple threat. So y'all better get ready. She says she utilizes every gift available to her for the liberation of black folks. Affectionately self-titled 4A, she seeks opportunities to empower and inspire through her pursuits as an award-winning artist, actress, athlete, and activist. Please give a warm welcome to the Bay Area's own, Oakland's own, Ryan Nicole!
Thank you, Renelle. Give it up for Renelle, y'all. And do me a favor. Put your hand over your heart like, put your hand over your heart like, hey. Put your hand over your heart like, how you doing, black people? You looking good. Looking good. Look. Yo, I am that I am, descendant of man, the head not the tail, the heaven sent the human. Opus of omniscient, masterpiece, master plan, masterfully made to make the most out this time I land. Smack in the center of a cipher, freestyling well, living in the life of parallels. Rhythm how I keep it in the middle, fall off just a little, realize my time is just a thread within the wrinkle. Take a picture, not focus on the negative. My people flash too bright to listen to their rhetoric. Say we better get etiquette for they sentence us subject predicate, but the freedom is in how we do like they have never did. The world revolve around the way my folks get down. I love our light, our sound, the ring of thorns, our crown, but we gon' carry our cross to our ascension and move ourselves into the next dimension. Yo, I'm the nexus, meaning the freshest, meaning the center of attention, the essence. I'm the light source, incandescence. I'm the sunshine in your solar plexus, bright fluorescent, can't reject it. It'd be better if you only would accept this. Hey, elevated position, after is the ism, it's the way that my people stay connected. Hey, how y'all feeling out there? You doing good right now? Yeah, well good. Everybody, know that you are the center of all things. Everything that goes on in this world, just like they were saying on that stage, we're in the center of it. You know that, right? They follow everything we do, right? Everything. Yo, you could put it in a letter, legal document, whatever, ledger with your legislature. I'm a level better than your greatest legacy, leaving legend levitating on lip-licking cats out the dead, Lazarisian. Gifted, leaving liberal minds uplifted with my lethal lines. Lick leviathans on my shine, get off of mine and out my light. Salute to the lieutenant with the illest spit, legitimately lip alliteration like a laureate illiterate. Suckers get effeminate when I speak of just a little bit. Tuck they tails and whimpering, now who they calling chick? I'm teaching little brothers like the listening minstrel and cats pull they whole car like a ligament. My lexicon like the methadone to the deaf and dumb, a metronome to the efforts of a generation of a new Jerusalem. Out of Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah, trudging forward out this horror to the blessing of tomorrow. You're the nexus, meaning the freshest, meaning the center of attention, the essence. You're the light source, incandescence. You're the sunshine in the solar plexus, bright fluorescent, can't reject it. It'd be better if they only would accept this. Elevated position. Opto is the ism, it's the way that our people stay connected. Amen. Thank you, Macy's. Thank you, Renelle.